and indeed universally, the desire for self-determination beats within each of us. It's a fundamental aspect of our society and a value I believe we all share. Good afternoon, folks. My name is Andrea Campbell, and I'm the co-chair of Kenora Pride.
And I'm Olivia Live.
Thank you for coming out. We are so thrilled to see this event grow with more floats, events, and participants. Today, as we gather in celebration and in protest, we stand on the sacred lands of the Anishinaabe, Mushkoguk, and Métis people. We acknowledge the treaties signed on these grounds and our responsibility as stewards of this land. This year, Kenora Pride's Recognition Organizing Committee is pleased to introduce Dana Lewitsa, our Pride Marshal. She is sitting in the little Miata with the big curly wig.
Yes.
Dana is a passionate advocate for 2S LGBTQ rights and inclusivity, driven by personal experiences and a commitment to making a difference. As a proud parent of 2 children who identify as part of the rainbow community, one as a gay trans man and another as a bisexual, Dana has dedicated herself to creating supportive environments both at home and in her community. After her children came out, Dana took action by starting a gay-straight alliance at Beaver Brae Secondary School and worked tirelessly to ensure the school's library was stocked with inclusive reading materials. She was also instrumental in founding Kenora Peace Park, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays.
Woo!
Providing crucial support and resources for families like hers. For the past 9 years, Dana has been an active member of Kenora Pride, contributing to events and initiatives that celebrate diversity. She has undergone workshops with EGAL Canada to promote inclusivity in her workplace and pursued certification in inclusivity and diversity training independently.
Woo!
At Beaver Brae Secondary School, Dana initiated the Fairy Godmother Project, ensuring that teens have access to prom wear regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. And through her career, both as an educator and at home, Dana has consistently strived to create a safe space where everyone feels accepted and valued. Dana's advocacy extends beyond her immediate circles, embodying the commitment to equity, understanding, and compassion in every aspect of her life. You will get a chance to hear from Dana at the barbecue, where we will also entertain and delight you with music and entertainment. Thank you to our generous sponsors: Kenora Chiefs Advisory, Lake of the Woods Brewery, Lakeside Builders, Scotiabank, Otsu, Wholesale Club, Donnie B's, Bestway Rentals, Tracy's No Frills, Shoppers Drug Mart, A&W, and the World of Water.
Woo!
As we celebrate the progress made in the last 20 years with marriage equality in 2005 and the recognition of gender identity and expression as a human right in 2012, we must also confront the challenges that still persist and the fragility of these gains. The conceit of every generation is to believe that we live in extraordinary times. Conservatives across this country are on a crusade with their politics of fear that harken back to a homogeneous society. Stagnating incomes, the hollowing out of the middle class, inflation, a pandemic, precarious access to food, shelter for way too many of us. And what is the solution our conservative politicians propose in their crusade to form our government? Is to put a target on the backs of our trans siblings and children. They have been using divisive rhetoric to sow seeds of hate and discrimination towards children like A. Let me share with you a story about A, whom I'll refer to as A for her anonymity. A is currently a 5-year-old little girl whom I have the privilege of calling my niece. A really liked to copy her older sister, wearing her dresses around the house and copying everything she did. There was a conflict and discussion as to whether she could wear a dress to Sunday dinner with her grandparents. When she was about to start school, her parents were concerned about bullying and societal pressures if she were to continue to wear dresses outside the home or at school. A became singularly interested in being a girl. I ask those of you who are parents or know a 3-year-old, as she was at the time, to imagine her tenacity and persistence. Usually children at that age have many diverse curiosities. Her parents embraced her identity and supported the social transition. And you know what happened? After weeks of singular focus, her only preoccupation was being a girl. Once her gender was recognized, A asked, "Where do clouds come from?" She returned to her curious, joyful self, with a myriad of interests like trains, dancing, blocks, secure that she was accepted as a girl who always wears dresses. Later, when exploring her body, she began to have dysphoria, but her parents simply reassured her, "Girls have penises too." And her worries for now have melted away. She's comfortable with her body, and after all, gender is but a social construct.
Amen.
Reflecting on A's journey, I'm reminded of the resilience and strength of our youth and the importance of nurturing environments that foster acceptance and understanding. Yet the reality is that not all children have the same support systems. Lack of inclusion can have devastating consequences and can lead to death. Being a parent is a one-way relationship, one of obligation and responsibility towards your child. A child owes you nothing. And when I think of my older trans friends and imagine them having been spared their trauma, their pain, and whose lives might have been saved had they had parents like A's. As we stand here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to allyship. Allyship is not a passive label, but an active practice. And for those moments where words fail us, when ignorance rears its head, I have tossed and turned, not knowing what to say or wishing I had had the words. So I've gathered some for you. That's not funny. I don't agree. You're punching down with someone less power than you. I don't think one can be too sensitive to hate, speech, and bigotry. Political correctness is simply just a little bit more compassion in fancy language. Get a sense of humor, one that doesn't rely on harmful stereotypes. And for those of you here who might identify as fiscal conservatives, what does punching down on trans kids do to solve our economic problems? Political is any time more than two people gather, and neutrality in the face of an oppressor takes the side of the oppressor in allowing the oppression to continue. The bystander is the accomplice, and I'm drawing a line in the sand. You are either with us or you are against us. Together, let's strive for a world where love triumphs over hate, where all individuals are free to be their authentic selves, and without fear of judgment or discrimination. After all, we all want the adage, you can be whomever you want to be, to hold true. And without any further delay, let's march!
Well, today is an important day because we had the Kenora Pride March and the community barbecue today on Saturday, June 22nd. And the importance of the event, I think, is a really big one. Obviously, there has been a lot of really problematic rhetoric coming out of some of the political parties in our country right now. And it really puts a lot of risk, or a lot of people in the 2S LGBTQIA community at risk, because it normalizes this like hateful rhetoric and encourages people to speak up when they maybe have some problematic views. Really, the whole point of having a Pride March is for people in the 2S LGBTQIA plus community to be visible and show that we are not going to tolerate inequity any longer, and to stand up and to make our voices heard so that we can hopefully one day have all people in our communities treated equally. But it's also about community, especially with the community barbecue. It gives everybody who belongs to the 2S LGBTQIA community in the Kenora and Treaty 3 territory an opportunity to come here, be together, build community, build relationships, and just like celebrate us being visible and our voices and, you know, just queerness in general. So it's a really great day. I just want to recognize really quick that June is not only Pride Month, but it's also National Indigenous History Month. And Kenora Pride recognizes that all of our events take place on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe people and the Métis people of Treaty 3. Visibility is absolutely key, I think, because instead of normalizing that hateful rhetoric I was speaking about before, it really normalizes queer people and queer experiences. And it gives people who maybe don't belong to the 2S LGBTQIA plus community an opportunity to see us out being visible, being proud, and, you know, encouraging them to have conversations with us if maybe they don't understand the way that we exist in the world. Then, you know, it's an opportunity for them to learn about that and to be exposed to queer culture and queer people, because at the end of the day, we really are all just people. And the most important thing is that we all learn from each other, hear about each other's experiences so we can understand each other and help support one another. So yeah, the visibility thing is super important. The other thing I would say about that too is for queer youth in Kenora and the Treaty 3 territory, visibility is like a super important thing, because it, again, the normalization part of it, they can see other people, especially grown people, who are living happy lives with their partners who may be of the same sex, or experience like seeing different people present their gender in a different way, or gender expression. See that it's okay if you live your life visible and out and proud. You can be happy and safe and successful no matter where you fall under the umbrella spectrum that exists in terms of gender and gender identity and sexuality. Well, it's a common thing that you hear, when people are trying to tear down the queer community that, oh, think of the children and it's so harmful. But if you really take the opportunity to speak to kids, like, they're not born with hate in their hearts. If you explain to them, like, maybe a woman can love a woman, or sometimes people choose to present their gender in different ways. They're very open and accepting to that. And one thing I really want to make clear is that if you are somebody, or you have people in your life who are the types of people who are worried that queer people being out and visible is going to make your kids gay, the secret is that if your kids are going to be gay, they were born that way. So it's a great thing, and you should celebrate that and try to understand them, because one of the things that puts youth so at risk, especially queer youth, trans youth, have an exponentially higher rate of suicide. And it's worth mentioning too that people who are at the intersection of being Indigenous and queer also are super at risk. And the more we understand them and support them in exploring their gender identity or their sexuality, the lower that risk gets. So it's super important that kids see that being queer is normal, being trans is normal, and again, you can live a happy, healthy, successful life being a queer person. This year was kind of an iconic year, actually. So this is the 9th Kenora Pride, and being able to be on the street was something that was really important to us, because it does increase that opportunity for visibility. And also, like, for Pride marches, it's a political movement just as much as it is a celebration of what it means to be a 2S LGBTQIA person. So it's really kind of a political thing to be able to march on the street, to stop traffic and have people pay attention to the message. And that's why we wanted to do that this year. It was also the very first year that we were able to have vehicles in the parade, which was a very, very cool thing. So I want to thank Northwest EMS and Kenora Chiefs Advisory for being a part of that, because again, like, supporting their message is also an important thing. But for them to show up and be visible allies to us, I mean, it's incredible. So I can't thank them enough. If anybody has questions or wants to volunteer for Kenora Pride, because next year is going to be a huge milestone year for us, it'll be year number 10, then you can find more details about what we're doing in the community and about volunteering by visiting our website, which is kenorapride.com. And we're always looking for volunteers. Everyone is welcome to come. We would love to have more folks from the Indigenous communities and the surrounding areas in Kenora volunteer, because Kenora Pride should be a platform to make those voices heard as well. And other than that, I'll just say I love you guys so much, and happy Pride.
It's been our longest Pride March on the road. It's only our second year on the road. We had a record number of floats. It was so happy to see people on the sidelines watching the march go by, really thrilled with the turnout this year. In Kenora and the Northwest, we know that resources are precious, and we're here to protect Northwestern human resources to ensure that our queer kids don't feel like they need to move away, to live with dignity, respect, and have their human rights valued here in Kenora. We couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day. It's a little hot for those of us in wigs, but it's a fantastic turnout. Love to see all of the families and the allies and the queers out. I'm the co-chair of Kenora Pride, but we have a large committee. Our committee has ballooned like 29 people and volunteers, people adding input. We've had the most capacity of any year so far. Allyship is a verb, and to stand by in the face of hatred is not acceptable. I'm drawing a line in the sand. You are either with us or you're against us. Neutrality is on side of the oppressor. Happy Pride!
Well, it's important because my daughter is in a relationship, and a pride relationship, so I thought I would come out and support her and have some fun at the same time. The Santa suit, though, was a little warm to wear on a day like today, but it was worth it. And like some of their banners say, love is love. And it doesn't matter whether you're male, female, female, female. It's all about caring for each other and about loving each other. And there is no difference. Love is love. So I don't have a problem with that at all. And being Santa, he's all about love, and it's about charity and giving. And from what I can see here, all these people are very giving people, very kind and considerate. I think it was great. They had a great turnout. Lots of people, whether they were gay or LGBTQ in the community, didn't matter. They were out there and they were all supporting each other. I enjoyed the walk. I saw lots of people and friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and they seem to be enjoying themselves. So I'm really glad that I came out. I would do it again in a flash. If they had another one in an hour or so after I rehydrate, I would do it again.
We have been planning this all year round. Kenora Pride is basically just we're a parade committee, so we spend the whole year planning the event. I'm mainly here because I'm Kenora's premier drag queen, so I like to represent the people and just show that you can be whatever you want in a small town, right? I mean, I'm just a man in a dress. I don't take myself too seriously, and because of that, I have such an amazing support system around me. I think it's amazing for a small town like Kenora to be able to have this amount of representation. The amount of young people here today is outstanding, and like I was saying just earlier, we don't, the young people don't inherit the world from us. We just borrow it from the young people. So I'm just here doing my work to make sure that they know that they can move into the future, being confident, being ridiculous, being silly, being fun, and just having a good time, because you only get one time around this world. So if you want to do something, do it. It's not that hard, right? I mean, it takes a lot of time and it's very sweaty, but of course, I went to school for theater. This is my passion. I love performing. Somebody asked me one time, actually, like my day job is working in employment, and somebody asked me, what's your dream job? And I said, well, being a performer. But this was while I was in full drag, doing like my full geesh, and somebody asked me, what's your dream job? And I was like, well, I guess I'm doing it right now. I mean, maybe I don't get paid very well to do it. Maybe I don't get paid at all to do it, but I still love doing it. So that's at the end of the day, somebody has to do it, because then who's going to do it after me? Who's going to do it? And somebody's going to continue that legacy and carry it forward. And that's what I'm excited to see. It's very lonely here in Kenora. I hope someone joins me. I think this is incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen this many people at a Pride event in Kenora. So like, I don't know if it's some of the bad publicity we've got this year, some of the good publicity, but people have come out in crazy numbers, and it's super encouraging to see, very positive, and especially the young people. It's just like, you know. And sometimes as a drag queen, you get a little bit nervous because of all this publicity around drag queens. Oh, they're trying to, like, they're sexualizing, blah, 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 they're trying to groom children, which is not the case at all. Like, I'm just here to be a silly man in a dress and make people laugh and try to inspire more people to be silly, be a clown. I don't care. You don't have to dress as a woman. Dress as a man. Dress as a clown. Dress as a dragon. I don't care what you do. Just have fun. I think that even if they're not going to say it, I feel like people do see in a lot of queer people, not just drag queens, that they're fearless. They're out to just be themselves unabashedly in how they dress and how they talk and how they walk. And sometimes you can't help it, and sometimes you can. And I think that we are like huge advocates, not only in the Pride community, but you see a lot of the other committees in this town, and they are led by queer people, because we know we are advocates. We have to advocate for ourselves every day. And so we understand what it is to advocate for others every day of our lives. And if we see somebody that's small or being belittled or being talked down to from somebody in a position of power, we know it is our job to stand up for that person. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm on this planet. Happy Pride! Woo!